Top news: free buses, more housing, taxing the rich. How Zohran Mamdani has gone viral in the New York mayor's race. Zohran Mamdani trailed Andrew Cuomo, the frontrunner to be the next New York City mayor, by 30 points just a few months ago. Now, just ahead of the Democratic primary on Tuesday, the 33-year-old Democratic socialist has bridged the gap with Cuomo, a politician so of the establishment that a giant bridge north of New York literally bears his last name. The surge in support for Mamdani, an aspiring rapper turned state politician, with a penchant for turning out snappy social media videos and a track record of progressive, left-wing ideas, has shown his clear ability to win over young voters. It also didn't hurt when he won the backing of the progressives Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders this month. Mamdani's rise has lent a new edge to an election that was in danger of becoming a procession for Cuomo, the former New York governor who resigned in disgrace in 2021 after being accused of sexual harassment. For a Democratic Party struggling to stand up to Donald Trump and his "Make America Great Again" acolytes, the closely watched election will offer an insight into what rank-and-file Democrats desire: a good old boy promising a steady hand on the tiller, or a fresh outsider who has energized parts of a weary New York electorate with plans to freeze rent and make buses free citywide. Mamdani's rise has been boosted by a social media following that dwarfs his rivals. He has almost 1 million followers across Instagram and TikTok, where he posts funny and self-aware videos selling himself to the public. The clips frequently show him walking through New York, or riding the subway, things that are unlikely to come naturally to the multimillionaire Cuomo. After supporters commented on Mamdani's frequently exuberant hand gestures in the videos, he posted a clip where he promised to keep his hands in his pockets, removing them twice only to have them slapped down by a man on the street. "This election is in your hands," a caption read on the video, in which Mamdani urged people to register to vote. The video was left to roll at the end as Mamdani laughed at the shtick. Born in Uganda to Indian parents, Mamdani moved to New York City when he was 7 years old and had a long-term interest in politics. Last week, a former classmate shared a video in which she recalled how Mamdani won a mock presidential election in 2004. A cricket and soccer player, he usually played defense or defensive midfield and would sprint down the field and score. A former teammate told The Guardian he was elected to represent an area of Queens in the state assembly in 2021. Mamdani has bold ideas for what he would do as mayor. In a city with a long-standing affordable housing crisis, he wants to freeze rent increases for people in applicable buildings and build 200,000 new units over the next 10 years. He says he would eliminate fares on city buses, something which would cost at least $630 million but, according to Mamdani, would generate $1.5 billion in economic benefits. New York City has an annual budget of $115.1 billion for 2026. He says he can fund his proposals by increasing the corporate tax rate and bringing in a flat tax on people earning more than $1 million a year. But Mamdani's limited political record, more than his proposals, has come under scrutiny as he has flown closer to the sun. There was more than a whiff of jealousy from Mamdani's opponents during the Democratic debate on June 4th, with even his progressive rivals taking a shot. Jessica Ramos, a state senator, theoretically a more powerful position than Mamdani's role as state representative, lamented that she had not run for mayor 4 years earlier, adding, "I thought I needed more experience, but turns out you just need to make good videos." Ramos's slight mirrored Cuomo's persistent refrain that Mamdani lacks the experience to be mayor. As Mamdani has risen in the polls, Cuomo has stepped up the attacks on his rival, painting him as too radical and inexperienced to lead the city in a barrage of TV ads and mailed-out flyers. In one proposed mailer, a pro-Cuomo group appeared to have darkened the skin and beard of Mamdani, who would be New York's first Muslim mayor, a move Mamdani criticized as blatant Islamophobia. A spokesperson for the group said the ad had been proposed by a vendor and upon review, it was immediately rejected for production and was subsequently corrected. For his part, Mamdani has repeatedly sought to tie Cuomo to Trump, pointing out that many of his donors backed Trump in the presidential election. Oligarchy is on the ballot. Andrew Cuomo is the candidate of a billionaire class that is suffocating our democracy and forcing the working class out of our city, Mamdani's campaign said in an email to supporters on Tuesday. In a more pointed critique of his opponent, Mamdani said on the Deb.